Well, hello there, everyone, and welcome to Inspirations for Your Life. I'm glad you decided to join me here today. It's a Monday. It's June 22nd, 2026. Thanks so much for stopping by. Whether you're watching us live or watching a replay or just listening to the audio podcast, whatever makes sense for you. If this is your very first time, I want to say thank you and I want to say welcome. I really do appreciate that you've decided to listen or watch the show today. And if you've been here one time, 5 times, 10 times, 100 times, even more, I'd like to say thank you and welcome. And I also want to say the words welcome back because I really do appreciate people that enjoy the quality and content of the show and programming that I produce here. All right, guys. If you're thirsty, I have an RO water here. Feel free to go grab whatever you want. It has fresh lemon in it, and it is really delicious. All right, guys, we're going to kick the show off here in just a moment. Feel free to go get yourself something, a drink, a snack, whatever floats your boat. And we'll get this show kicked off. I think you guys will really enjoy tonight. We have an amazing topic this whole week, as you know. So let's just dive right in, okay? This is Inspirations for Your Life. The master topic for the week is Protect Your Energy Like It Builds Your Future, because it really does. Series 5, Show 26. The episode tonight is Understanding the Hidden Growth Phase, Series 5, Show 26, Episode 3. And our theme in that is building in silence. When we're silent, we're actually doing more than we think. So welcome, everyone, once again to Inspirations for Your Life. I am John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur, engineer, marketing specialist, video producer, podcast host, coach, keynote speaker, passionate lifelong learner, graduate student at Montclair State University. Yes, and so grateful to now be a published author. All right, everyone. So today I'm focusing on something most people misunderstand. What is that? The hidden growth phase. This is the stage where real progress happens without any signs of visibility, and where most people quit early because they cannot yet see any results, right? We said the difference between success and non-success is successful people just have learned to hang on just a second or two longer. Our core message is about growth, and it does not always announce itself. So people are like, oh, I guess I shouldn't do anymore. In fact, the most important stages are often silent. This is where discipline is tested, patience is built, and identity is formed. What you cannot see is often what is shaping everything. Everything, guys. That's really, really important. So let's get right into the insights that I think will really change your life. All right. Number one, not all progress is visible during growth. Unfortunately, guys, some of the most important development happens without any outward signs, clues, or directions, or anything. So I think that can be hard for some people because they're like, I don't see anything yet. So they figure, well, I'm just going to stop because I don't see anything. And that's going to be a problem because you're going to miss something. Number two, silence often means construction is happening. Just because nothing is visible does not mean nothing is being built. Number three, growth can look identical to stagnation in the beginning. Early progress often feels, well, like nothing is changing at all. Number four, strong foundations are built in quiet conditions. Stability is created when there is no pressure for immediate results. Number five, recognition is not required for improvement. You can grow significantly without anyone ever noticing, and that's okay. Number six, mastery develops before results appear. Skill is formed long before success becomes visible. And it's that nurturing that I think makes the big difference for a lot of people. And I think that's a huge thing for so many people, the way that works and how that can really cultivate and actually change your life. But a lot of people, they go home early. Unfortunately, they don't see anything. They don't see a light. They don't get a signal. They don't hear anything. They don't feel anything. So they just go home early. Number seven, outcomes always lag behind the effort. Unfortunately, guys, you put the effort in, outcome doesn't show up right away. What you see today is the result of past discipline. And I think a lot of people expect that if you put the effort in today, that you're going to see results tomorrow. And I want to tell you guys, you're not going to see results tomorrow. Unfortunately, guys, I just want to tell you that because it's important that you understand how that works because hopefully that'll motivate you to keep wanting to go on. Number 8, repetition matters most when it feels boring. Consistency during low motivation periods is where growth actually starts to emerge and happen. A lot of people don't understand that one thing, but I want to tell you how key that is. It's a very very big key thing that I think a lot of people just they get stuck on. Okay, so that's an important thing to absolutely understand. Number 9, lack of feedback does not mean lack of progress. Silence is not an indicator of failure, guys. Number 10, invisible work carries long term value. What is unseen often becomes the strongest foundation. Number 11, early stages are designed to feel slow. This phase tests patience more than, well, the performance. And it can shut people down because they don't think they have a chance. But actually, guys, they really have more chances than most people ever knew was possible. So I think that's a very important thing. All right, let's dive into the next point. Number 12, patience is part of the system, not optional. You cannot skip waiting and still expect growth. It's like you can't cut corners, right? You have to do what's necessary every single time. I think that hurts a lot of people, to understand that. So let's get in number 13. Silence should not be mistaken for failure. Stillness often means internal development. And that's something that a lot of people they don't get. All right. They don't get that. And a lot of people say to me, "Hey, how's that going to work? How's that not going to work? Or why is this going that way?" And it's because of basically your mindset. Your mindset creates your reality. We've said this so many times, but I'm hoping if you hear it enough times, you're like, "Oh, right, John, now I believe you." Well, it's not a case of whether you believe me or not. It's a case of do you understand how and why it works? I think that's probably one of the most important things that I can actually tell you is that it matters how it works to you. All right. That's probably a very important thing. Number 14, hidden effort creates future leverage. What you do privately builds public results later. And you're not doing it so you can boast about it. You're practicing it in your own space. And then you go out and share that, right? I think that's a very important thing for a lot of people to understand that you can do that. But again, it takes time. It takes intention. I think that's a big thing. When we take time, we understand why things are working or why they're not working. I think that's probably one of the biggest things I can say to all you guys is that, most people want to go out and do things publicly. And I don't have a problem with that. But what happens when you do that is you're doing it for the wrong reasons. You're doing it to impress someone. You should be doing it for yourself, not to put on a show. A lot of people do things because of a big quote unquote ego, right? That's what they do. They do it because of a big ego. And that's a very important thing to actually understand that it's because of that big ego. Number 15, momentum exists before it becomes visible. Progress starts internally before it shows externally. That's important. Number 16, delayed results are part of natural growth cycles, right? Nothing to get alarmed about. Timing always lags behind the effort. And I know a lot of you are saying, well, John, I put this effort and it's been for so long, but when am I going to see the results? I can't tell you that. But what I can tell you is that if you keep on keeping on, it reminds me of a story. Do you guys remember it was actually I think it was called The Little Engine That Could. Do you guys remember that? The Little Engine That Could. So The Little Engine That Could was a book I really enjoyed. There are a lot of books I enjoyed, but this was one I really enjoyed. So, The Little Engine That Could is a children's story about a small blue engine that bravely pulls a stranded train filled with toys over a mountain after larger engines refused to help. The engine's determination and mantra, I think I can, 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 illustrate the values of pure optimism and hard work. Now, The Little Engine That Could is a classic children's story that emphasizes the importance of optimism and perseverance. It features a small blue engine that takes on the challenge of pulling stranded train filled with toys over a mountain after larger, more powerful engines refuse to help. And so the plot is a train carrying toys for children breaks down at the foot of a mountain. Several larger engines pass by and decline to help, each citing reasons such as vanity or exhaustion, etc. A small blue engine, despite its size and doubts about its strength, agrees to help the stranded train. As the little engine begins its ascent, it repeatedly chants its mantra, I think I can, I think I can, I think I can. Though determination and hard work, and through a lot of perseverance, the little engine successfully pulls the train over the mountain, delivering the toys for the waiting children. Optimism is a big key. The little engine's belief in its ability to succeed is central to the story. The narrative illustrates that effort and determination can lead to success regardless of one's size or perceived limitations. This story has become a beloved tale for generations, teaching children valuable lessons about resilience and power of positive thinking. And that's a very important thing, guys, for us to understand. We have stories like that. I still remember, what the train looked like. It was pretty cool. I mean, I read this many, many years ago. But The Little Engine That Could, it was basically this blue engine, and there were even animals on the side, and it was just a very interesting thing, of how it worked and how the engine was really tired, but the engine just kept giving all it could, and at the last moment, the engine actually succeeded, and that's pretty priceless, guys. Number 17, you do not need validation to keep improving. You don't need somebody to tell you you're doing good, right? You don't need a pat on the back. A lot of people go home early because they think they need the pat on the back. When they don't get the pat on the back, well, they go home. They give up, right? Instead of improving. External approval is not required for progress, but many people wait for it. Well, I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting for it. And then they just don't grow because of that one thing. They never get the pat on the back. But in life, you don't get pats on the back all the time. You have to be your own cheerleader or cheerleaders. Right? I think that's an important thing to understand, that you have to be your own cheerleaders, right? That's an important thing, guys. What it's about. And I think a lot of people don't understand that. They don't understand like what it's about. And I will tell you guys that most people will probably give up before they've even come close to succeeding. And that's something that's pretty wild, guys, that people do it that way. They don't realize the power, the strength that they have within them. They just don't realize it. And I want to tell you that a lot of people don't understand all this. Okay. So what they do is they give up. They give up day in and day out. Okay. And I know, guys, that that's a very tough thing for a lot of people. All right. A very tough thing, because when that happens, people are like, oh, I get it, or I don't get it, right? That's what actually happens. And I think that's a really tough time for, people to understand. And I will say to you that most people just don't understand this. They don't get why something's working or why something's not working, but they're the first to criticize. All right. They're the first to criticize. And I think that's an important thing to realize is that because you don't get the pat on the back, it doesn't mean you're not any good, right? Doesn't mean you're not any good. Number 18, skill matters more than recognition. Competence builds long term success. Number 19, isolation can strengthen focus and the output. Fewer distractions allow deeper development, but many people get stuck with the distractions and they don't know what to do with them. So they're like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? And then suddenly they just bring themselves down all because of this challenge. And these are important things. I think the most important thing I want to say is that you have more skill and power than you think, or that you give yourself credit for. The fact that you negate yourself and say you can't do something, Henry Ford said this a long time. If you think you can, you're right. And if you think you can't, you're also right. And a lot of people just don't understand that whole concept that our mind creates our reality. Our mind creates our reality. And that's a very important thing to understand, right? It's very important to understand. And I think some people just don't really get things, right? They don't get it because they're waiting for the cheerleader or cheerleaders to rah cheer them on, right? But you don't need to have a cheerleader. Number 20, consistency in silence builds resilience. That means you keep doing what you need to do, even if you don't have cheerleaders, even if you don't have people applauding or raving you on, like you don't want to race or run. Yeah, go, 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 go. It's nice to have it, right? But you have to still keep moving towards your goals, even if it doesn't exist. Repetition creates inner strength over time. And it's that momentum that causes us to build the mental, right? The physical, and even the spiritual fortitude. Number 21, future success is built during unseen effort. The stuff that nobody sees, the challenges that only you see. That's really the truth, guys. What you do privately defines your public results, and you do not do things privately so that you can boast about them, okay? You do not. You do them so that you can become better with who you are, to become a better version of yourself. I think that's really the main thing. But a lot of people I talk to are like, I'm doing this because I want to show everybody. Well, what they really wind up doing is showing themselves how idiotic they are and how they have a big ego. And most people don't really care about that. I was talking to somebody today from a chamber, and we're talking about things you don't do. One is you don't just throw cards at people. And the other thing you don't do is, well, we have 24 salespeople. We've been in business X years. Nobody really cares that you have 24 salespeople, that you've been in business 30 years. Nobody cares. They care about you. They really care about you taking the time to learn about them, and then they'll want to learn about you. Like Dale Carnegie said, strive to become genuinely interested in other people. Number 22, repetition creates strength before viability. We've learned before that repetition is the mother of skill, right? But we have to repeat things in a way that is going to be productive, that is going to be the right manner. See, you become, ladies and gentlemen, capable before you become recognized. When you're capable, nobody's around you. When you get proficient, people are like, oh, you know what? I need to hire him. I need to talk to him. You have skills, right? And I think those are very important things. But most people don't act in the right manner. You know why? Because they have a big flaming ego. And the ego's got to come out. I'm better than everybody. Nobody's better than anybody. We're all just learning day by day. But the people that think they're better than everybody are just going to be, well, taught a hard lesson. I know each day I know a lot, but I don't know everything. And I'm always willing to learn more. I'm always happy to be humble because, look, I'm not perfect. And if I get somebody that says they're perfect, well, that's great. I don't challenge it. I said, that's good for you. Fantastic. But that's also somebody I don't want to hang around with. Number 23, guys. Number 23 is all about learning while unseen is a competitive advantage. A competitive advantage can make the difference to your success. Private growth removes external pressure. See, sometimes people do things, you know why? Because they're looking for the person to applaud them, right? They're looking for somebody to cheer them on. Number 24. Long-term success depends on short-term consistency. Daily habits shape future outcomes. We talked about this before. You have to have consistency and you have to have structure for things to happen. Number 25. Most breakthroughs are invisible until they happen. Until they happen. And then everybody suddenly wants to be part of that success. They were nowhere near you when you were growing, when you were trying to get up, or when you were falling and nobody was there to help you. No. But now that you're a success, everybody wants to get a piece of your coattail. They want to hang on to any little bit they can, even if it's a tiny bit. Sudden success is usually after long preparation. When you prepare, you don't know when the success is going to hit, but you know that when you keep doing the same thing over and over again, and you start to see the needle moving in the right direction, you know that you got to keep doing that, right? Whether it's losing weight, whether it's financial success, whether it's relationships, when you see something going in the right direction, you got to keep doing that. Number 26. Many people quit right before the results ever appear, just like seconds before it's going to appear. The gap between the effort and reward is where most people stop. Oh, I'm tired. It didn't work. I've been doing this for many months, for many years. I'm not getting anywhere. Are you making progress? Are you moving the needle? Yes. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. If you're working results, then you got to change. But if you're starting to see the needle move toward your direction, good. That's good. That's what we want. Number 27, small improvements compound before they are noticed, right? Just like interest in a banking account, right? Or CD. Nobody notices that little tiny compound until it becomes a big amount of interest. Progress builds quietly over time. And most people don't recognize the progress because it's so tiny, it's so small, minuscule that it's hardly worth celebrating. But I want to tell you guys, it's every step, it's every inch, right? That you grow. Every nugget of knowledge that you absorb helps bring you to your success. Be humble, be open, and you'll learn and you'll grow. And you know, when you help others grow, you grow too. Number 28, private discipline creates public transformation. You don't want to shame somebody in public or yell at somebody. You want to politely get them off to the side and give them some consistent constructive feedback, not to embarrass them, not to belittle them, but to say, hey, you're doing this right, but we need to tweak this. I noticed all the shipments that you've been working on have been winding up in completely different states from where they're supposed to be. I was just curious to know how you do this, and maybe we could figure out a way. People are usually very open to do that. But when you come back, well, you better get this straight. They want to quit. When they know that you're their alloy, they're willing to talk with you. What you do alone defines what others see. Now, they may not see it tomorrow. They may not see it the next day or even the next week or month or year, but they're going to see it. Number 29, perception of no progress is often incorrect. Growth is happening even when it feels so doggone slow. Right? If we track a plant, for example, does anybody know how many days does let's say does a plant take to grow from a seed? Does anybody know? I mean, it's going to vary, right? The germination phase, 3 days to 3 weeks. Okay, depends on the herb, the plant, what have you. And the seed absorbs the water and it pushes its first roots and shoots above the soil to form a seeding. And seeds sprout fastest in warm, moist, and stable environments, around 70 degrees to 80 degrees Fahrenheit. You can use a heating mat or grow lights. And then there's the maturation process, right? Microgreens, 7 to 14 days. Fast growing vegetables, radishes, lettuces, spinach. I'm talking about vegetables now. 3 to 6 weeks. Fruiting vegetables, 3 to 5 months. Trees and woody shrubs, 3 to 5 years, right? So we don't say, hey, when's the tree going to grow? We know it's going to grow. Number 30, the hidden phase is where success is actually built, but it's not usually on stage. Everything visible later is constructed here first. So it's important that you get things built correctly. If you don't, you're going to just keep making things, well, wrong. I think that's an important point that most people, again, they miss. In closing, guys, I want to say, so here is the truth, okay? If it feels like nothing is happening, and I know we've all been there, that is usually when everything is starting to happen underneath the scenes, the covers, right? This is the hidden growth phase, guys. And if you stay in it long enough, it always becomes visible. That's important, guys. I'm John C. Morley, and this has been Inspirations for Your Life. And this is where silent growth becomes real success. So the next time you're only hearing and seeing silence, don't be dismayed by it, because anything can happen, such as a breakthrough, if you remain positive. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day or evening, and be sure to check out believemeachieve.com for more of my amazing, inspiring creations. Be well, everyone, and take care.